What is your profession?
So here we have 1,500 points of Mordian Iron Guard today. Starting off on the left, we have the support elements. We have 2 Leaving Russes in their classic configuration of battle cannon, las cannon and 2 heavy bolters. We then have a Hellhound with a heavy flamer and inferno cannon. 2 Scout Sentinels with heavy flamers. They do not have the Sentinel chainsaws today. Running something I don't think I've run in a battle report yet. I'm running 5 Bulgrins, all with Slab Shield and Bulgrin Maul, and they have a priest that's going to be going with them as well. Then on to the leaders of this army. I have 3 company commanders, 2 with chainsword and bolter, 1 just with las pistol and chainsword. We also have a Lord Commissar with power fist and bolter. Moving on to the ground pounders, the troops. I've got 5 squads of infantry with plasma gun and las cannon. Just going back to my roots of go big or go home. I'm going to try those guys out today for a change. We're running a lot of auto cannons recently. And then just to get some more boots on the ground, 5 more infantry squads. And these guys have just got grenade launchers just to give me a little bit more board control. That's 1,500 points. Trying out a new unit, got some old faithfuls, old reliables as well. Let's see what the Mordian Iron Guard will be taking on today.
Okay, so here we have 1,500 points worth of Tau, here to take on the Mordian Iron Guard today. So we have a battalion and a vanguard detachment for those extra command points. So starting off with the battalion, we have 3 units of fire warriors. Each sergeant has a marker light and target lock. There's 2 units of 6 and 1 slightly larger unit of 7. They are led by a Fireblade and Long Strike in the Tau set, and he's got smart missile systems, 2 Seeker missiles and a railgun. He's backed up by 2 other Hammerheads, 1 with a railgun, 1 with an iron cannon. They've both got smart missile systems and 2 Seeker missiles each as well. And then looking at the Vanguard detachment, we have a commander with a triple missile launcher and advanced targeting system, so he's AP -2. And then we have 2 units of 5 stealth teams, both with 2 marker drones, and the commanders both have marker light and target lock, and they're all with 5 burst cannons. And then we have a... Oh, that's it, Ghost Kill, forgot the name of him then. And he's got 2 stealth drones and a cyclic iron raker and double fusion blasters. And that makes up 1,500 points. Oh, and just to mention, the main battalion is Tau, as we said, for Long Strike, and the Vanguard detachment is the one where they can advance and shoot normally without any negatives, without any penalties. Viola. So we've got Tau and Viola.
So here we have the Warlord and Relic Bearers of both armies. The Tau Battlesuit Commander is going to be the Warlord today, and he is going to have Precision of the Hunter, which lets him reroll 1s to hit against vehicles and monsters. And he will have the Pure Tide Engram chip for his Relic, which means he'll be getting some command points back on a 6. It's still pretty good even after the latest FAQ because it's only on a 6, so you're never really getting more than 1 or 2 back anyway. The Imperial Guard are going for Strategic Genius, as the Warlord trait means we'll be able to get command points back on a 5+, but only in our own turn. Again, we'll be able to get 1 back with the new FAQ, but it's still interesting to try these things out and see how really they've been affected by these changes. And his Relic will be the Laurels of Command, which means on a 4+, he can issue an additional order to the same unit. So there we go. We'll do the field of battle now, deployment. So here we have the field of battle after deployment. Mordian 50th rifles deployed. Heavy infantry centre here. There's some tank support on the right flank. And the Bulgrins and Scout Sentinels in the centre, able to put some pressure on the enemy early. We've got a big tower of doom here. And the reason we've done that is we have our objective here, and we're playing the secure and control mission, which is where each side has 1 objective and you basically got to try and take your enemy's objective off them. So my one's there, guarded by 40 brave guardsmen with my Warlord tucked in there. And then just over on the flank we've got a cheeky flanking Hellhound. And the reason we've got that over there is because the Tau have deployed some cheeky flanking stealth suits. They're clearly going to be trying to go for that objective, so the Hellhound's hopefully going to be able to support that defence. And then the rest of the Tau force is over here. So we have a hammerhead with railgun here, long strike, another hammerhead, so a nice armoured core. Infantry block out front protecting the Tau objective, which is just stuck in there. And the Ghost Kill with stealth suits supporting that castle. And of course the commander providing just all-encompassing firepower. Should say this is the sort of new terrain that we're using again. I've got one of the battle report featuring this. This terrain is going to, obviously it's not painted at the moment, but we're going to be putting a big effort into getting it all painted up, but it still looks pretty good at the moment. And as I mentioned in my last report, we now have some Mordian Glory dice. At the moment I'm not selling these, they're sort of a one-off project, but in the future I might do sort of a one-off opportunity like I did with the t-shirts. But for now, these are just nice and pretty cool to use, and it means no more dice arguments because everyone uses the same dice now. So one other thing I want to cover is I want to do a shout out. So as many of you know, one of my regular opponents since pretty much the first days of me doing YouTube has been Johnny, and he often uses his Blood Angels on this channel, and the Blood Angels versus Mordian Iron Guard has become a classic face-off. Johnny has actually started his own tactics channel now called Schola Progenium, and it's really good. It goes into very in-depth tactics about a particular thing. So for example, he has a series called Everything You Need to Know About, you know, XYZ, be it auto cannons, assault cannons, or las cannons, or assault marines. You know, it's units and all the way down to individual weapon systems. It's a little bit like my basic tactics series, but a lot more in-depth. But it's also in a very easy to understand format. So quite literally, if you watch one of those videos, you will know everything you need to know about a particular topic. So yeah, if you could all just go and check out Johnny's channel, there'll be a link down in the description below. And give him as much support as possible, because obviously he's starting out with a new channel now, and he's given me absolutely loads of support. So the very least that we can do is give him a good lot of support when he's starting out on his YouTube career. So there we go. Obviously he uses his Blood Angels mostly, but he does occasionally indulge my Xenos killing fantasies, which is why he has brought his Tau along today. But without further ado, we've covered the mission, we've covered the deployment and terrain. Should say we're doing pointy Dawn of War today. And that's it. So we're now going to roll live on camera who gets the first turn. Now the Tau do get the +1, they did deploy first. So they do get to go first. We both got a 5, but Johnny gets a +1, so it's a 6. But will the Iron Guard seize? Johnny hasn't gone first in a long time, so let's see if that curse is still prevalent. Yes. No, Johnny will be going first, so I'm just going to say straight off the bat now, I'm going to use the stratagem prepared defences so that I have the benefit of cover even when I'm not in cover. But that's one of the new stratagems as per the big FAQ too. So we'll be back at the end of Tau. Turn 1. So really good turn 1 by the Tau. Both Scout Sentinels moved forward, and one got obliterated just because that meant that if they survived, they'd be able to start torturing the Fire Warriors. Unfortunately, one just got evaporated by the Ghost Kill's fusion blasters, and the other one was just brought down by a combination of some spare Seeker missiles and the Iron Cannon hammerhead over there, and some Fire Warrior shots. The Bulgrins got shot at by the Tau commander. They used take cover, so with the prepared defensive stratagem plus take cover, they basically ignored his AP -2 and they survived every shot, which was nice. 2 rail cannons and 2 Seeker missiles were able to finish off this Lehman Rush, and he did explode, killing one guy from this squad and one guy from this squad. And then I think it was just some pretty good burst cannon fire, plus some more smart missiles. They were able to wipe out one squad up here and kill 4 from this squad and 3 from this squad. So the Tau have killed about 20 infantry, 20-25 infantry, 2 sentinels and a tank. So really good opening turn by them. They build out, they're going to have to do some good counter punching here, otherwise it's going to be an uphill struggle for them. Prepared defences was quite useful. but mostly for the Ogrins. For everyone else, either the Markalites helped ignore cover, or the smart missile systems ignored cover anyway. So, or AP -4. So, yeah, it was. It was interesting. Prepared defense is quite good against some armies when I've used it, but against Tau, they seem to have quite a lot of ways of ignoring cover anyway. So let's see what the Imperial Guard can do to respond to this Xenos threat.
As we all know, the Guard get hit hard, but they hit back even harder. That's Johnny's favourite phrase. So they gave a good account for themselves. If this turn had gone badly, it really would have been, you know, very much in the Tau's favour straight off the bat. But this has brought things back to an even playing field. So starting off over here, the Hellhound came forward and was able to wound one of the lower squads of stealth suits and killer drones. That was okay, little tickle. And then the las cannons opened up, and it's my first time using the Laws of Command in a long time. And man, I really enjoy that relic now. Now that we don't need full command point farming, Kurlov's Aquila isn't as useful. Being able to sling out some additional orders on squads is really good. So he used Inspired Tactics and was able to order all 3 of these units. This squad got reroll 1s to hit and first rank fire. This squad got reroll 1s to hit, reroll 1s to wound, and this squad got just reroll 1s to hit. And between them, they were able to kill sort of about 3 fire warriors, and then were able to put 10 wounds on Longstrike, which is absolutely fantastic. Just from 3 las cannons. These guys fired him, but he was able to save the las cannon wound over here, and they were able to kill another fire warrior. And then the battle tank, it put the battle cannon and the las cannon into Longstrike, and then the heavy bolters into fire warrior squad. The heavy bolters were able to kill 1 more, and the battle cannon got 7 shots. They only got 3 hits, only got 1 wound, but I used a command point, so that became 2 wounds. Longstrike unfortunately failed both of them, and I was able to do 4 damage to him. He didn't explode, but he has gone, so that's a big buff unit for the Tau gone, but it did take a good half of my army to achieve that. This infantry blob moved forward. These 2 units merged together to help with order efficiency, and they fired a lot of shots. They all had first rank fire, second rank fire, but it only amounted to sort of 1 or 2 fire warriors killed. The dug-in fire warriors, 3 up saves, is pretty good, and I was struggling. It was weird. I was either struggling to hit but doing okay to wound, or struggling to but doing okay on the hits but just failing on the wounds. So it's a bit topsy-turvy. They probably balanced out in the end. And this squad over here advanced and got 6 on the advance. They were still able to pop off a grenade launcher shot, but Johnny saved the damage. And the Bullgrins moved forward, and both the Bullgrins and the Priest advanced 4 inches. So they've gone and taken a central position that Tau are really going to have to deal with. Now Tau are going to have to take some battle shock here. This squad has gone down from a 7-man unit to a 2-man unit. But they're okay with that. They don't need to take one. They've only lost 1 guy, and that squad down there doesn't need to take any. So they're fine. And I think these guys have only lost 1. So yeah, that's fine. So 1 drone, 1 wound. So yeah, not a bad counter punch by the Guard. We've thinned out the fire warriors. We've tickled the stealth suits, and we have managed to eliminate Longstrike. Let's see how the Tau can counter-attack against this resolute Imperial advance. So a really good Tau turn 2. They've not missed a beat here. The Ghost Kill manoeuvred over to here to be within 9 inches of the Bullgrins and was able to melt 2 of them with his fusion blaster. That really made a difference having the 2d6 pick the highest on the wounds. The Fire Warriors were able to. None of the Markalites hit this turn, I don't think. No Markalites hit, but they didn't really need it because I was pretty much unable to make a save this turn. This squad here was badly thinned out by pulse rifle fire and smart missile fire. Another Ogre was killed by that Iron Head over to here. And then as you can see, the Imperial Castle has pretty much been reduced to 1 squad. The stealth suits just advancing and crushing everything they see. Using the Viola double shot stratagem is absolutely fantastic. It is costing him a lot of command points though. He's burned down to 4 now. And this Hellhound has been reduced to 4 wounds, taken 7, due to missile launchers and hammerheads. So that's it. Imperial Guard looking a little thin on the ground, but we've got a good chance to maybe get the Ogres into combat now. let's see what the guard can do going into their turn. So a bit of a topsy-turvy turn for the guard there. Some things went okay, some things went pretty poorly. So starting off over here, the Hellhound opened up, and even though it had the heavy flamer in range, I only got 8 shots out of 3d6 dice. The main Inferno cannon got a 3 and a 1, so I used a command point to reroll the 1, it went up to a 2. And then the heavy flamer got 3 for the number of auto hits. And then it didn't do anything. Johnny just made all his saves, which was really unfortunate. One of the stealth suits was killed by a plasma gunner down here, but the las cannon missed the hammerhead, and the las gunners did nothing. The warlord retreated to here. These guys fired las cannon at the hammerhead but didn't hit. The rest of the small arms was able to kill a fire warrior or 2 from here. These guys all opened fire. I merged these 2 squads to keep the squad nice and big, so then I could use volley fire, which meant I got a few extra shots. I only got 2 6s with the las guns, but at least the grenade launchers got lots of extra shots. So in the end, I was able to wipe this unit out and do enough damage to that unit. I killed 10 fire warriors in total, and the last one over there ran away. And then this squad unfortunately wasn't able to do any damage. And then it was over to the tank, and the tank's heavy bolters got 4 hits, 4 wounds against these 2 fire warriors, and then Johnny made all his saves on 4 up, which was unlucky. And then I fired the battle cannon and las cannon at the hammerhead. I was really hoping for a big roll, but I actually got the complete opposite and got double 1. Already used my command point and reroll, so I couldn't make it any better. I did get 1 hit, 1 wound, it did go through, and I did get 2 damage, and the las cannon did hit, did wound, but then only got a 2 on the damage again. So yeah, that thing, it did quite well last turn. It's a bit disappointing. Out of 2 rounds of shooting, I've only got 9 shots with it, which is kind of, yeah, definitely below average. Should have had 14. So, and the bolters on each character did nothing. No, I didn't get any. Couldn't use my rerolls. So, anyway, that's it. So the Imperial Guard have done okay. We've wiped out most of the fire warriors, but these stealth suits are still coming on strong. We were able to heal a whole ton of that, but the stealth suits are still coming in strong. And the Bullgrins fail. I was going to charge this, but then he had his commander and his hammerhead in range, so they probably would have just died to the Overwatch, because it's Tau Overwatch, so definitely wouldn't have helped. And then they failed the charge against the Fireblade up there. I think it was by 1 inch or something, so it was pretty bad. But yeah, so topsy-turvy turn, able to kill the fire warrior, struggling to wound other things. The Tau still have a lot of firepower at their disposal. Let's see what they can do going into their turn. So a very good Tau turn. They were able to heal D3 wounds back on that hammerhead, and they got the 3, which is good. And then they were able to blow the Hellhound up relatively easily with the commander. The Bullgrins have done quite well. This guy has taken 2 wounds, but they absorbed a lot of firepower. Unfortunately, this squad here was killed, and then Johnny used the fire twice strategy, and he is now out of command points, and that allowed him to execute my Warlord, unfortunately. But that's it. 4-man squad killed, Warlord killed, and damaged Hellhound taken out. So still very good, but the Bullgrins absorbed a hell of a lot of firepower this turn, and we're really going to need them to do something now. They've just been a very imposing unit, but now we need to start smashing apart some Xeno scum. So let's see what the Imperial Guard can do in their turn 3. It's been a lot of damage in 2 or 3 turns of Tau firepower. Let's see if the Guard can stand firm and fight back. So the Guard are clinging on, they're doing everything they can. Over here, the battle cannon and las cannon were able to do. He was taken 1, so they did 7 wounds, so he's taken 8 in total. So he is degraded 1 level, which is okay. And then over here, these guys fired absolutely everything they could into this squad. I had volley fire, I had first fire, second fire, and Johnny had a 2-up save though. So I only killed 1 drone, which is a little unlucky. And then down here, I fired in. Did I not kill a guy with the plasma?
No, you didn't shoot at them.
I thought I shot on my small arm.
You missed.
Oh, I missed with the plasma. Yeah, I got a 4, but no, that's a miss because it's massive to hit those guys. And this squad up here, this little 2-man squad, was wiped out as well. Star moment though was some small arms fire was able to kill the stealth drones protecting this guy, and then this squad charged in.
and the Ogrins and the Priest charged in. This squad got a wound, but unfortunately it was saved. And then the Ogrins, the Priest did a wound, and then the Ogres went to town and did 8 wounds to that thing. So this thing's degraded by a level, this thing's degraded by 2 level. Johnny has no command points left whatsoever, so they're not getting better. They are now hurt, they are now injured. So they're not getting any better. But the rampage of the stealth suits is going to continue, but at least they can't be firing twice now. And Markerite support is a little thin on the ground. So yes, it is looking bad for the Guard, but we have damaged some significant units. We have a lot of infantry. Yeah, and he can't shoot quite as powerfully. So we're clinging on by the skin of our teeth. Let's see what the Guard, what the Tau can do to respond to these upstart Vaser. So not a bad Tau turn. Stealth suits blazed away into this squad, killed 8, and 2 more ran away. So that squad's been thinned out quite badly. The Bullgrins took pretty much all the firepower from the Tau vehicles over here, apart from that one hammerhead there, but it did take the commander fire to finally kill them. And a few smart missiles damaged these guys, and another one ran away to battle shock. But a rail cannon shot went into this guy, it hit, it wounded, and then because I was in cover, I got the cheeky 6 to save it, so I was alright with that, but it's close. It really, I'm going to need an okay turn this turn, just an average one, to be able to stay in the game. But let's see what the Guard can do going into their turn 4. So that turn the Guard did what they needed to do. So these squads over here just plinked away the last 2 drones that were hit. So those guys now can't save your protocol anything, and we also were able to use a cheeky battle cannon shot to kill one of these guys here. So we've taken out 4 burst cannon shots from the equation, and there's no savior protocol, there's no marker lights. So that's okay. This unit moved over here to get towards objective. This unit moved up here to just get in rapid fire range. Now the most interesting part of the game, the most cinematic part, was this last cannon with reroll 1s to hit fired against the hammerhead. Now he got a 1 to hit, but I rerolled and got a 4, wounded on a 6. Because Johnny had been forced in his turn to move so that the Ghost Guild could get out of combat, otherwise it would have been locked up and the Bulgars would still be rampaging around. It was no longer obscured from the las cannon, and it screamed in and absolutely tore the hammerhead to pieces. It exploded on a 6, which took out the Ghost Kill, which then also exploded on a 6, which then took out the 2 guards in here. So 2 guardsmen for a hammerhead and a Ghost Kill. I think the Emperor will take that sacrifice. Now over here, between a frag grenade for the Minister on Priest and first rank fire, second rank fire from these guardsmen, we were able to put this casual fire blade on 2 wounds. So it's amazing, these guys actually have 5 wounds. We thought they had 4, so they're really tough. We then charged in with both units, and the Priest was able to do no wounds to him, but then the guardsmen, thanks to the Priest giving them +1 attack, were able to kill him. So that fire blade's gone. So that's the last marker light gone from the board as well. So one amazing las cannon shot, an amazing charge, and then some pretty average firepower over here has kept us in this game, but it's a big but. There's no command points left for the Guard, and it basically comes down to the Tau have to try and shoot me off their objective whilst trying to basically shoot me off their objective, I think it comes down to. So can these burst cannon guys do it? Can they do it? Let's see what the Tau can do going into their turn 5. So here we go, Tau turn 5, potentially last turn of the game for them. They've done what they needed to do. So they've blown the guardsmen off that objective. It's only being held by that Priest. These guys came over here to help do that. If they hadn't come over there, they've been distracted by these guardsmen. Ooh, I was hoping they would be, but wasn't to be. Unfortunately, they did make a big difference in hosing those guys down. And then these guys over here rolled a little cold and were only able to kill 2 guardsmen from here. So yeah, it's tough. It's really tough, but let's see if the Guard can do anything to try and stop these stealth suits, because they're absolutely tearing me to pieces at this point. I've got, 20 infantry left and a tank. It's not a lot to go off against 8 stealth suits, a fully healed commander and a fully healed railhead. Let's see if the Guard can do anything going into their turn 5. An okay turn for the Guard. We were able to put 1 wound on these stealth suits.
1 wound on these stealth suits. We kind of wanted to kill these guys. We reckon they're just going to jump over here and slaughter my 2 characters. And then we got 2 big hits on this guy, and he's taken 9 wounds. So yeah, taken 9 wounds. So he's on his last bracket now. So he is struggling. Maybe we'll check. Yeah, he might be on his last bracket. Might not be. So let's see if the game goes on. That's it. Does the game go on? On a 1 to 2, it does not. So 6, the game continues. Let's see if the Tau Empire can claw back this. So the Tau had they did what they needed to do basically. Everything just jumped over here, and everything just basically went into those 2 characters and gunned down both of them. It came down. The commander was still left over, and he was able to sling in a few shots against these guys and wound them quite badly. Yeah, so actually take battle shock on those guys, and they lose 1 more. We're going to lose this guy down.
Mordian leadership.
I can't get him. I'll take him off in a minute. So yeah, so it's not looking good for the guard. We really need to hold that objective. Let's see if we can pull out some cheeky manoeuvres and try and claim that objective from the foul scum. The guard didn't quite do what they needed to do there. We did continue to secure objective. We got a decent movement over here, but we were just we got literally to get within 3 inches. We just needed maybe 1 or 2 more inches. But on one of our advances, we got a 3. We needed to be quite lucky. We got 3 to 6 overall, but we needed to be a little bit more lucky. And the tank over here fired into that tank. We're hoping to just explode it and just take everything out around it. It had 5 wounds in it, and Johnny made 4 out of 5 4-up saves on it.
And this guy missed his first shot of the game.
And this guy missed his first shot of the game. And this guy's last cannon hit and wounded, and Johnny saved on a 5-up. So that tank just it didn't want to die. It has got 2 wounds left though. This Lord Commissar charged in here and just completely flubbed it and took 2 wounds for his trouble. So basically, does the game go on? I mean, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference at this point, but we will fight to the last man. So let's see if the game continues. It's not a resounding 1. So yeah, a bit of a left-handed shake. There we go. I think the points are, it's 1 objective each. Fair enough. And we both have. I have Linebreaker, I believe, here, and you don't have Linebreaker here. So it comes down to Warlord and First Blood and
Cheeky assassination.
pardon me. And absolutely fantastic game. And me and Johnny sort of said this. This is what we often roll this mission up. And we often actually, sometimes we re-roll it because what we find is this mission always comes down to secondaries, and it does take some real luck from the Emperor or blessings from the greater good to really take the opponent's objective. Because realistically, the opponent is always going to be able to call in more and more on his objective. And that was an example here. Like no matter how many infantry Johnny side down with the stealth suits, more guards will march onto the objective. And no matter how many units I threw at that objective, there was always a commander here that could boost, or a fast-moving stealth suit, or even just a tank that could do it. So it's a good mission. It's a real tough one, and sometimes you find it is just First Blood that does it.
Against guard though.
But yeah,
killed 60, 70 infantry, 2 characters.
Oh, the stealth suits were the men of the match for the Tau. There's no doubt about it. For me, the man of the match was this las cannon guy. He only missed once. I mean, it was the most important time, but he only missed once, so you can't blame him for that. 6 shots, 5 hits. I think he was responsible for putting 6 wounds on on long strike, killing another hammerhead and a ghost keel, and doing 6-7 wounds to that one as well. Just absolute hero las cannon, basically. So good effort there.
Tank worked away, gradually went across the game, did his stuff,
Yeah, not too.
Contributed to kill every tank that got blown up in the ghost kill, and they did a few wins to everything.
My tank was
well, considering you had 1 guard tank,
the whole game pretty much.
Yeah. Doesn't really, so he contributed.
I think, as we always say, what tends to happen is if you leave your opponent with a full strength fire support unit, it's going to come back to you at the end of the game. And I always find this when leaving enemy flyers alone. I always leave the Storm Raven alone. Oh, it's delivered its cargo now. How bad can it be? And then it always just flies around, gunning me down. So it's a good. It was a really good game, and it literally came down to like 1 or 2 inches here. You know, a couple of damage rolls here. Literally, that's all it came down to. And really, really close game. Both sides absolutely smashed to pieces.
Fought tooth and nail, both of us.
Fought tooth and nail. So a really, really good game. And you know, it's just like I said, the mission. It's a bit of a tricky one. I think that's why in ITC they changed it to what's yours is mine, and they have that extra objective in the centre of the board to help balance that. But no, I still really like it. I still thought it was a really good game.
Yeah, it made for a really exciting game.
Yeah, absolutely. Just
because you have to take that objective, so like you can't castle up really, because especially if you've lost first blood.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it would have made a difference. Maybe if I'd not bothered sending these guys up here and instead I'd send them over here, maybe it would have made a difference. But I think what would have happened is these stealth suits would have probably inevitably taken my own objective off me.
For me, I knew it was going to come down to fighting here long enough that you moved onto this objective and committed forces to this objective, and then knowing that I could use the speed of the stealth suits and their anti-infantry capability to come back. And I messed up my timing slightly. I should have pulled them over here a turn earlier, but then would you have rushed that objective with everything? Maybe I did time it right, but just like it was a bit risky at the end because I messed up their advances twice in a row. But in the end I got a massive advance with those guys to make up for the rubbish advances over here. Got these 4 stealth suits on the objective, and it was just absolutely game over from that point.
Yeah, it was just 2 points in it, and you know, for me, if this was a tournament game, that would be one of those times when it's like it's a loss, but it's not going to drop you down too much.
It's going to stay on the mid-table.
Yeah, it's just a solid mid-table.
Yeah.
I tried a few different things out in this list as well. Bulgrins are good. I definitely. They are good. They're basically immune to small arms fire, which is fantastic. They are pretty weak to anti-tank fire, but it basically means your opponent does have to use anti-tank fire to bring them down.
Have the same. They have the same feel as Termies.
The toughness, extra wound Termies, basically.
But without a decent end gun.
Well, they don't really need it because you often take cover on them.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
And then you have a 5-up, which is like having a 5-up in run on a Terminator.
So they just have that same feel as Termies.
Yeah. I was a little unimpressed with the Bulgrins at first. But when they got in there and they smashed 8 wounds off a ghost kill, and that made a huge difference.
It's the same thing as we said with the Paladins to the Grey Knights.
Yeah.
You know, that a 3-wound heavy infantry model with a 2-up armor save is just really nasty. Because at the end of the day, it's if you've got a 5 model unit, you know, that's an extra 5 2-up saves that they have to put on you to kill the unit off, and until they've killed the unit off, it's threatening their line. So it's just really adds on that survivability, adds on the pressure, and that's what you want from one of those units. You want them to survive a couple of turns and keep that pressure on the opponent. So yeah, Bulgrins add a really good element to the guard that they sort of may otherwise lack.
Yeah, I think I'll tell you what.
It's interesting to play against.
Yeah. I think the turn 1, I think it was literally turn 1. It was almost one of those games where it wasn't quite decided by turn 1, but whoever got turn 1 had a big advantage.
I mean, the thing is that you say that, but if either of us had dropped our guard for a second, that would have lost us the game. We were both playing to our, as tactically as we could.
We both made one key mistake, and I think my one key mistake that I made is I didn't bother consolidating with the guard guys around here when I had that ghost kill trap, because I thought, I'll either kill it or it'll just fly away. But because it's reduced movement, we actually worked out it would not have been able to have escaped if I hadn't left that tiny gap there. And that would have meant more Bulgrins, more infantry, his lines. That could have made a huge difference. And likewise, Johnny made a mistake over here, which almost cost him the game. And
I should discuss it.
Maybe a mistake over here, and so it just shows it's one of those games where literally it was a couple of small factors that decided the result.
My commander here at the end of turn 5, my tank, I didn't do that till turn 6, but that basically meant that you know, you held that objective. So if I'd gotten lucky, if it had been a 1 or a 2 on the end of the game dice roll, you know, you would have won the game then, and that was a gamble I shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
You know, it's been lazy. You know, it's been a long game, but you can never be lazy. You can never drop your guard, especially against an opponent who's moving every model precisely, being really tactical. That's what you've got to do when it's
and what you've got to remember, and I notice it's not a great tactic, but it's something you have to remember. In a tournament, you often only get to round 5, and so maybe because I've been going to a lot of tournaments recently, maybe I've been so used to clinching victories on turn 5 that I almost threw everything into the pot a bit early. And that, because if it had ended on turn 5, it's been a tournament, it would have been dice down, turn 5.
It was almost
bam,
like
I would have won. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I think the thing was that you pushed onto that objective a turn earlier before I pulled away from this one. So what that meant was sort of, I was very aware of that threat and it forced my hand to deal with it, but it meant that I did deal with it and I did kill those infantry. And that point you weren't really able to take that objective reasonably. You had a good go with these guys, but you needed basically a 5 followed by a 6 and 2 advances, so it was, it was a long shot. Whereas these guys, I just pulled, because I left them there a turn longer, it meant you pulled more infantry over to here to try and make sure you took that objective. Yeah. If you hadn't had those infantry go this way, if they'd gone that way because, you'd waited a turn for your push, you would have probably taken that objective and it would have been a win to you, a narrow win, or a draw, I don't know, whatever. You would have gained 3 points, I would have lost 3 points. But as it stands, it's 5-3 to you, 5-4.
It's one objective each, and you get 2 extra points basically. Yeah. So yeah, a bit of an after-action report there, which is good. Just do it all in one. So yeah, as I hope you guys enjoyed that battle report. I hope you sort of saw the tactics that me and Johnny used, and if you're more interested in the kind of tactics that Johnny does implement on literally a almost daily basis amount of Warhammer that we play, head over to his channel. Like I said at the beginning, Schola Progenium. He will literally run through step by step these kind of tactics that help you snatch victory from against really tough codexes like Guard, because a lot of people would say that the Guard codex is better than the Tau codex, but you can see here that it's not necessarily the case. It's actually quite evenly matched, and you can see units which you literally never see, like stealth suits, are actually an absolute keystone unit. So hope you guys enjoyed this battle report. As I said, check out Johnny's channel, and I'll see you guys next time.
Can I say one more thing? I was really worried, being a main Blood Angels player after the FAQ, about having to include the 3 inches for moving up and down levels with jetpacks and units like that. Yeah. But it wasn't as big a deal as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't really an issue. The stealth teams, just with a bit of forward planning. I knew where I was going to put them at what point in the game. I knew when I was going to pull them back, and so it didn't take me by surprise. I didn't get caught out by it.
Oh yeah. Oh well, and that's Johnny's sort of last thing. And my last thing I want to say is Tau are quite an interesting army, because they actually have ways to deal with the changes in the FAQ. And the biggest one, like I sort of said it in my turn, the biggest one is I used prepared defences in my last game against a different opponent. It literally meant I only lost 5 Marines in the first turn against a Raven Guard gunline army. Using prepared defences against Tau, they don't care. Marker Lights remove cover, Seeker Missiles just ignore cover, and Hammerheads just smash through armour anyway with AP -4. So really, Tau, prepared defences, who gives a shit? They literally have the capability to deal with that. But anyway, we'll wrap it up there. Hope you guys have enjoyed the battle report. Hope you guys have enjoyed the included after action report, and we'll see you guys next time.